I made a video of my recent trip to the Grand Canyon. I can honestly say that when it comes to hiking, it was probably the toughest thing I've ever done, the most exciting, life-changing. There was a lot of firsts for me. I've never really done wild camping. I've always gone camping in a caravan or cabins. So learning to pitch my own tent and get it all in the dark and pitch the tent and take it back down again in the morning and sleeping on stones and pebbles and stuff. That was definitely, there was a lot of firsts. Loved it. Backpacking is definitely something that I will do again and highly recommend. The thing for me with backpacking was we went down Bright Angel Trail, and the video that accompanies this, you'll see I've put some photos out there and some videos. Bright Angel Trail I was actually dreading. I'd heard so many stories about how it kills your knees and your back, and it's so difficult, and I kept asking myself if I'd done enough training for this, although I'd been training all summer at 4 in the morning and doing more challenging hikes and elevation gain and distance, especially with how hot it was, and I'd never carried a 40-pound backpack. Although I trained with 25 pounds, so I was dreading Bright Angel. Turns out I found Bright Angel quite easy. I had a little hip issue halfway down, and I just adjusted my backpack and that hip issue disappeared. So one thing to definitely know about going backpacking, get yourself measured for a proper backpack. Vital. One of the ladies in our group found that out the hard way. She bought a backpack online and it didn't fit properly, and she struggled for the whole 4 days. So if you ever decide to backpack, number one thing is make sure your backpack fits. Anyway, back to the canyon. So we turned on to Tonto Trail at Havasu Gardens, which is stunning. It just surprises you that although all this red stone and all these rocks are in the canyon, then you come along to these little oases of green trees and little ponds and rivers and tropical flowers, and it was just amazing. But we went on to Tonto Trail, which is like the trail less traveled in the canyon. Breathtaking. Every corner we turned, it was like, wow, this is amazing. I think we covered like 16, 17 miles on the Tonto Trail before we went down into Hermit Creek, and then followed Hermit Creek to the river and the beach. We slept on the beach the second night. Then we climbed back out. There were a few really major climbs. For me, I looked at some of these descents and thought, oh my God, if I wasn't with a guide and a bunch of other ladies, I'd have backtracked back to Bright Angel Trail and not done it. They were so scary looking. To me, it just looked as if we were just going to be holding onto a rock face and moving our feet and hope for the best. That's what it felt like the first couple of times. They were very steep, very rocky descents, and of course what goes down must go back up again, and we'd have to come up them the next day. I was terrified, ain't gonna lie. Some of these challenged me on a fear level where if I'd looked at them, I'd just say, yeah, I'm not doing that. But the fact that I was in the canyon and you have no option, then, sorry about that, then I had no option but to do it, okay? But I was definitely challenged on so many levels. And I wrote this in my journal that I was so frightened in some of these sections of the canyon. I mean, some of them were only like a foot across, maybe like, about this across, and you had the rock here, and then it was like a 2,000-foot drop on the other side, and you were sort of shuffling through, terrifying. But I did it. I did everything that scared me. And what I learned about myself by going off the beaten track and into the canyon, there was no cell cover, there was no toilets, there was no comfy beds, there was no husband to take care of everything. My husband's the best guy in the world, but he does spoil me. Tends to wrap me in cotton wool. And I realised when I was down there, the reason I seemed so afraid of everything in the last 5 years, and I know COVID plays a big part in the fear factor and the energy, but I realised that my husband takes such good care of me that I had forgot all about survival instinct. So I would get anything I was uncomfortable with, I'd walk away from, or I'd like sort of a freak out a little bit. But in the canyon I had no option but to take care of myself, and it was emotional, but it taught me that I can dig deep when I need to. And it's me that's making the choices to live this really comfortable life, and I'm not complaining. I love my life. I'm very, very fortunate. Must be one of the most fortunate people I know. But it's good sometimes to get out your comfort zone and really push yourself to do something you're not familiar with. So when you see some of the videos, there's one video where we're walking along the path, and then the second video will show you that the path completely disappeared, and there was a rock slide due to floods in the canyon about 3 months ago, and it just swept this part of the trail away. And when I saw it, I thought I was going to have a heart attack, but thankfully our guide is so good at what she does. She helped us over this section of the trail, and you'll see that section, and you see me looking a bit dazed when I get to the other end going, what did I just do? So anyway, I wanted to talk a wee bit about the photos and the videos that you're going to see. Grand Canyon Adventures with TSX Challenge. Our guide's name was Charlotte, and my trail name was Glasgow Sally. And we called me Glasgow Sally because when I lived in Glasgow, my name was Sally. My name is Sarah Jane, and my short name was Sally. And when I lived in Glasgow, I came from nothing. We were really, really poor. In fact, we probably lived in the slummiest part. You know, my mum was poor, raising 5 of us, and I had no option but to be in survival instinct mode all the time, you know. And I'd take care of myself, and I was kind of scrappy, and so we talked about this when we would sit on the stove at night and talk about our day. And they named me Glasgow Sally because I had faced a lot of fears, and they said that I was digging into that side of me where I had no option but to survive. So Glasgow Sally. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the accompanying video. If you want any more information about what it was like to hike in the canyon, please just, subscribe and drop me a wee note. I'm happy to share anything. I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend if you're going to the canyon, do it over a few days. We did 4 days and 3 nights, and we saw so much. It's just so hard to put into words. It was just amazing. I felt as if I was just listening to that lost part of myself that I never even knew I was searching for, and found a lot of answers to a lot of things that I never even knew I was asking about. It was magical. So get off the beaten track, go out there and hike, get a backpack, be safe though, do your homework, make sure you train. I had to train really hard for the canyon, and thankfully my training paid off. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the videos.
Super.
Oh, that was terrifying.
Grateful I woke up again.
Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again. Oh.
Believe it or not, this is actually the trail. I'm not going to go back up it because I'm going up in the morning. So, you see up there. So we go up there, and yes, there's a trail. We climb out. We have to, a lot of scrambling going on. Lots of rocks. Sorry, I meant to take that out. Lots of rocks. We go all the way up to there, the top section. And that very top section you see lit up. The goal is to be up there by lunchtime tomorrow, so we're leaving at 3. So yeah, so we start here, then we've got 2 miles of undulating before we get to the staircase. We take a break for breakfast, and then we start our climb out. 5,000 feet in elevation. Should be fun. We're heading here, or here.
Yeah, there it is.